Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this session we're going to be checking out the 99 Lives control deck or replacement control deck for the Arcade1up Turtles cabinet. Now Lily is not here, she didn't want to come and do the difficult part, the unboxing and the install, but she'll probably be back towards the end of the video and we'll be checking out some gameplay showing you what's preloaded on this system. So let's get started. Comes in a nice big box, marked fragile, posted by UPS. I'll show you exactly what I ordered from 99 Lives in a little bit before we do the install. But yeah, delivered by UPS, marked fragile, box has got bashed up a little bit, but I'm expecting, based on the size of the box, it's going to be well packed. So let's take a look. Alright, so it looks like there's a fair bit of stuff in there. Nicely taped up to hold things in place. First of all, a poly bag. Have a look what's in here. Of course, you can't open a box without the cat arriving on the scene. She'll be in there in a second. Okay, so in the bag, we have power block, Velcro sticky pad. It's like some kind of display adapter. I'm guessing this is going to be the converter to take an HDMI feed into the Arcade1up. There's some more sticky pads in here. Smudge you don't need to get in the box. And then yeah, looks like very similar to the arcade modder video that we did. Got a converter there to go from HDMI into the stock Arcade1up control panel. I've also got an audio cable here. Bunch of buttons, presumably a bunch of spare buttons. We'll check that out. Another Velcro sticky pad, HDMI cable, and got some instructions. Alright, let's see what else we've got in here. We'll move the cat. Here we've got a speaker. A speaker or a bass tube or something. I didn't know that was coming with it. Maybe that is a standard item. I'll check that out in a moment. Or maybe Greg threw in a little extra there. Wasn't expecting it. Lots more packing here. Very nicely packed. Another bag. Lots of cables coming out of it. Let's have a quick look what's in there. I'm not sure if you're supposed to take the bag off or leave it in there so it's nicely protected. I haven't read the instructions yet, but I just want to show you what's in it anyway. Yeah, I guess you do need to take it off. There's a power supply. We've got a smart TV box here. I'm assuming that has the build, all the games on it. We'll be checking out exactly what games are on it later on in the video. We've got essentially got a USB hub here. Going into a smart TV box, it's an Android-based operating system, going into the control deck, which we'll take out now. I'll just tip this up actually, see if you can see what's in the box. You can see there's some polystyrene in there, styrofoam as you Americans like to call it, packing in the control deck very nicely. Nicely protected for transport. And then here's the deck. As per the Boss deck that we did the review for, very nice quality. very nicely done. And just turn this around for you. You can see there all of the controls, all pre-wired. You don't have to start putting these into all of the USB converters, etc. It's all done for you, and very, very neat and tidy behind it. So I'm guessing it should just be plug and play, but I'm going to have a read of the instructions. I'll show you on the website exactly what we ordered, and then we'll also obviously do a live install before we go into the review. But first impressions, looks very good. There's no plexi on there. I would have liked to have had some plexi on there, to be honest. So no plexi, but other than that, it looks excellent quality, just like the boss deck that we previously reviewed. Okay, so just to recap, actually, before we move forward, I wanted to just give you a close-up of what comes in the pack while we've got it laid out on the pool table here. So you've got your 4-player control deck, very nice convex buttons, player start and coin buttons for every player. You've got 6 buttons for the 2 middle players and 4 on the outside. Sticks and buttons both feel like they're good quality. There's also a bag with additional buttons, spare buttons in there too. That's good to see. Came with this Turtles wall art. We'll be putting that up behind the cabinet. Instruction manual printed out for you. We'll be going through the full install in a moment. Also comes with the smart Android-based smart TV, USB hub, and all the connections pre-wired back to the control deck. There is a speaker and additional components there for that, as well as the VGA converter, Velcro pads, and all of the cables that you will need, including a power block here. So overall, very nice package, and yeah, we'll show you what was ordered. If you want to get this, it's a level 3 replacement control deck. Show you what was ordered, how much it was, and then we'll get stuck into the install. Okay, so if you're interested in getting hold of this kit, you want to go to 99livesarcade.com. From here, if you go to store and then Arcade1up modification kits, there's a couple of different versions of this Turtles one. There's a nice one here if you're only interested in a 2-player with the trackball in the middle and some cup holders. But we actually wanted to maintain the 4-player version because we already have a modded 2-player cab. So this is the one we went for down here. It's the level 3 Gen 1 to 4 15-minute mod. $719. Let's just go in here. A few different options, obviously US shipping for us, art option, Turtles, cabinet build. I believe this was Gen 2 Turtles, team mode color, green, and you can see here there was no option for plexi, so you saw the one that we got does not have plexi. I have popped in a note over to Greg to see if that's something that can be added additionally afterwards. But yeah, fairly straightforward. The level 3 kit, as you'll see in a minute when we do the install, is plug and play. Should take about 15 minutes or so to get this installed. But let's take a look. Okay, so we moved everything into the main arcade now, so I can pull out the Turtles cabinet to work on it. First step, we're going to remove the existing control deck, and then we're going to remove the back of the cabinet so we can access and remove the stock PCB. Okay, so with the control deck removed and the back off, the next step is to remove the existing PCB, and we're going to replace that with this new VGA or HDMI converter. Okay, so the original PCB and ribbon cable is out. Removed the cable from the long pin connector and the white pin connector which goes into the monitor. I'll show you what that should look like on here. Put the control deck in now as well, so I've got the wires down here for the actual processor Android box, and then at the back of the monitor you should have earth cable, this black long pin connector and this white pin connector. They're going to go into the HDMI converter. Okay, so we've just plugged in the HDMI converter, plugged it into the smart Android TV box. I've got the sound turned off at the minute just so I can talk you through. Obviously we've powered on, you can see control deck has some nice light up buttons, feel fairly good quality, video playing there on the build. I wanted to bring you around the back here, show you what we did inside. Okay, so at the top here is the HDMI converter. We've got the original cables from the screen. The long black pin connector has the red cables to the left. The small white connector can only fit in one way, so no issues there. HDMI cable going from the new converter down to the Android box here. We have the subwoofer. Subwoofer takes a feed from output to the original speakers. The kit comes with an extension cable so that your cable's long enough. And then the audio from the Android box goes to the subwoofer. So I think that's it. Oh, we also have a retro 530 light up marquee. So the one thing you'll see that's different here, maybe in your setup, got this splitter so that the original Arcade1up power cable powers the new HDMI converter as well as the light up marquee, so that's all going to come on together from the switch on the power block. We'll tidy up all these cables after. Just wanted to check it out, test it first. So let's take a look at the build, see what games are on there. Okay, so one quick correction with that last step. I had put the auxiliary cable into the Android box. Actually, you want to put it up here into the HDMI converter. It does say in the troubleshooting that you can change the settings, but that is for a Pi. I could not find the settings to change to the audio jack on the Android device on this setup, but maybe there somewhere. Alright, so we've got everything plugged in, just firing up the system. As I said, make sure you've got your audio jack in the correct port. That was the only problem, otherwise super straightforward to install this. So nice little intro sequence there. Let's take a quick look at some of the games and some of the platforms that are available on this build. So here, it's like you've got 2,148 arcade games. Controls are fairly straightforward here. You've got basically A and B, advance and back, and then you've got your start and your coin buttons for each player. Let's have a quick look in the arcade titles. I'm not going to go through all 2,000, don't worry. Just to show you the menu system here, pretty cool. And we can advance back out here. We've got favourites, 14 games in there so far. Let's have a look what they put in there. Obviously we've got the Trackball on here as well, so we can check that out, see how that plays. So you've got Mario 64 in there as a favourite, and has got N64 games on here. Obviously we've got Turtles in the favourites. And Turtles in Time. So I'm pretty sure I'll change the favourites there, but not a bad selection. What else we got? Last Play, there's a dynamic menu, arcade vertical games. Default has got 9 games. Let's have a quick look at what was in there. Not the games I'm looking for. What else we got here? Bam Presto, 20 games. Capcom Classics, 33 titles in there. Cave, 12 games there. Cinematronics, 19 games. 4 games. Bing. Gallico, 12 games. Got Live. Irem, 66 games in there. Midway, 90 games. Nintendo. Sikyo, Sammy, 18 games. Sega Classics, 188 games in there. Let's have a look what's in Sega Classics. I wonder if they've got Sega Rally. We've got Jurassic Park, that'll be fun to check out. So it looks like no Sega Rally, not in that menu at least. But a lot of great Sega games all the same. Technos. Visco, Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, 800, Thomas Wave, Coleco, Famicom Disk System, Television, MSX1 from Sony, 2 Panasonic, Neo Geo games, 141 in there, N64, 294 games. Let's quickly check out that. Something we haven't got on the Pi build we have. 1080s quality. So we've got a fantastic selection in here for N64. Very cool games. We'll take a look at that in detail later. NES, Open Ball, PC Engine, Nintendo's Satellaview. Never ever heard of that. Looks very much 16-bit SNES-like. Let's do some research, check that out. Sega 32X, something else we don't have on any other build in the arcade. Some very cool games on here. I used to have WrestleMania, it was very cool. Spider-Man was a cool game on there. And of course, everybody who had this, where I lived, had to have Star Wars, and of course, Primal Rage. Dreamcast, 87 games on there, some quality Dreamcast games out there. Mega Drive, Sega Naomi, Sega SG-1000, Sharp 68,000, PlayStation, PSP even, Sufami Turbo, never played that, Super Nintendo, Super Graphics, Vectrix, all games. 13,778 games on here. Now obviously we're not going to be able to get through those in this review, but hopefully that just gives you an idea of what's on here. Certainly as compared to the Arcade1up, there's about twice the amount of games. Not immediately obvious what the extras are, but we'll get stuck in and we'll have a look through. And I'll pick out a couple of other games just to show you the performance and show you this running, and then we're going to get into just talking about the build quality overall and some of the minor things that I think could be done to improve the deck. Alright, so first of all, rather than getting into the Turtles game, let's get into a game that uses a trackball. I think this is going to be a thing I'll focus on in the review. I specifically got this kind of higher end level replacement deck. The bezel's here in the middle, right behind the trackball. And as you swing forward, you're going to hit the screen very quickly. It's very far forward. Now, obviously, if they had put it back here, it's going to be in the way of the joysticks. They would have had to move the joystick and these buttons further apart. But I think that maybe would have been a better compromise, bringing the trackball backwards. But let's show you Golden Tee 2K running. And we'll see how it plays with the trackball right down there. And let's just bring the camera back just a touch so you can see the screen and the trackball. So the default screen setting here is not good for this stock screen, but you can quickly go in here and go into the settings. And we can change the video very quickly here. Scale in, aspect ratio full. Back into the game. It's meant to one player. So on my Arcade1up Golden Tee, my hand will be much further back here. I have the ability to come up and do the different shots, but on here, quite a limited use because of this joystick in the middle. So you kind of got to come down from above rather than a flat motion. So not too bad, but you've got to be really mindful and precise with a shorter stroke rather than really going for it like you would do on the Arcade1up.
For one, trying for birdie. Call for one, trying for par.
Okay, so made par. I mean, it's workable. I think as you get to the more kind of difficult levels, if you're playing against somebody and you're trying to do shots around trees and stuff, it's going to be quite difficult. But you know, overall, I think it's not a bad compromise. It works quite well. You've got a variety of different games on here that the trackball can be used for, including some gun games. So while we're on the topic of the trackball, let's jump over, have a look at a couple of gun games on this cab. Okay, so as I said, in addition to obviously Golden Tee and some of the bowling games, the shooting games are another great genre that we can use a trackball on. Now, I've got a bunch of shooting games on this other modded cab that's modded with a Pi 4. don't have a light gun for that, so you can't really play the shooting games. I don't have a light gun on this mod either, but I wanted to show you Jurassic Park, show you how it performs on the Android box, and how the trackball works. So again, tricky to get your hand in over the joystick, but the movement's nice and smooth. Definitely going to be better than using a joystick. It's certainly not as good as a light gun, but pretty cool all the same. Definitely, if you do get this custom deck from 99 Lives, you're going to want to check out some of the shooting games as well. Alright, so another game that a lot of people would perhaps want to use the trackball for, another shooting game, classic I remember, haven't played in years, but Cabal. So let's just show you how this this operating system works. So it's got a nice filter games by text option, which the build on the Pi 4 didn't have. So you can very easily just go in here, put in the game that you're looking for. You don't have to get it exactly right. There we go, Cabal. I'll leave the marquee art on here. You can configure all the settings on here if you want to change the bezel, if you want to put scan lines on, all simple to do in the interface. You just press coin and that B button. Okay, so I could have sworn the trackball worked on this game, but it doesn't. I have to play with the joystick. That's pretty cool. I'm going to play all these games for a long time, but let's also have a look at, let's say, Operation Wolf. And the trackball does work quite nicely here.
Operation initiated.
so let's jump back out of here. Keeping in the shooting games, you can't use the trackball, I don't think, without further configuration on a Dreamcast, but let's have a look at House of the Dead 2 and see how that performs compared to House of the Dead 2 on a Pi 4 build. And this will be a good performance check. I'll get them both running side by side. You can already tell there you're getting some lag on the audio. I don't recall if I got that on the Pi 4, but I'm going to fire it up on there and we'll check it out.
The House of the Dead. The House of the Dead.
Obviously arcade mode. Why would you play any game not in arcade mode?
We're meeting G over there. Please be safe, G. How could anyone do this? G!
James, I tried. Don't underestimate the enemy. James, take this. Harry and Ingrid coming to back us up.
Alright, so saw a little bit of lag on there, but certainly not unplayable. It's pretty good fun, not as good fun as the new Arcade1up Terminator 2 that we got, of course. So this is the Arcade Mod Up Pi 4 build. I gotta say, just jumping back over here, joysticks are better on the 99 lives, buttons are better on the 99 lives as well. Could have sworn I had House of the Dead 2 on the Dreamcast on here, but clearly not. I bet what it was Naomi. So let's check it out on there. It's not going to be a fair comparison, but we'll go back and we'll check out a Naomi game on the 99 lives as well afterwards.
The House of the Dead. We're meeting G over there.
Now, I don't have the trackball, I don't have the joysticks configured on this Pi 4 to play it properly. I was going to show the Dreamcast version, but I think you can see straight away on there that this is running very smoothly on the Pi 4. So while we're back over here on the Pi 4, I'm going to jump out and I'm going to go into another Naomi game that I know I've got on the 99 Lives Android version. Let's go. Dead or Alive 2, cracking game.
この戦いには絶対に勝つ。邪魔よ。俺の勝ちだ。
did see a little bit of lag there. Alright, so let's pause that one for a second. Let's come back over here and we'll check out the same game running on Naomi on the Android. Alright, so I think you could see from there it's slightly laggier, by no means unplayable, but I think just based on those minimum examples, I think the Pi 4 does perform a little bit better. But to be honest, there's so many games on here anyway, and if like me you're going to have multiple cabinets running different operating systems, different games, doesn't really matter, no big deal. So next I want to talk about games that you might not have seen on other builds you've got. So on the Pi 4 build we've only got about 6,000-7,000 games. Here there's 13,000. It's hard to tell exactly what's missing from the Pi 4 build, but one major category that I noticed is Sega 32X, which was one of my favourite Sega consoles back in the day. It was just a big jump from the Mega Drive, I thought at the time. It obviously flopped, but I loved it all the same. And of course, we're not going to play a 32-bit version of a 16-bit game. Let's go into something different. It wasn't on a Mega Drive. Star Wars Arcade.
really bite it.
I love the fact that on this game you could have a 2-player and be the pilot and the gunner, which are selected there. Not great when you play in 1 player. Super fun game. I would obviously prefer to be using the yoke from my Arcade1up over there, but I'm very, very reluctant to mod that cabinet because it's one of my favourites. Alright, so check something else out. Let's find something else that you may not have seen on another build. There's quite a few homebrew games on here. So let's check out Beats of Rage. So there's actually a couple of games in here I want to show you. We'll start off with Beats of Rage. A couple of homebrew games that you may not have seen, not under license from Sega or SNK. It's a pretty cool game. You know, there's better games now. I've got another cabinets like Streets of Rage 4 on the modded Nintendo Switch cabinet. Disappointed with some of the newer titles on the iArcade, but still pretty cool. Let's just back up out. A couple of other games on here which I think you may not have seen. Word of warning here, this game you probably don't want to let your kids play. You can't really see anything on the graphics, but you can see there's some extra sprites been added for more of an adult effect. What's cool about this is you've got Street Fighter characters as well. Go ahead and be Cammy. Oops. I was going to be Cammy, I pressed the button too soon. Something very weird going on with the screen here. feels like something that should have been on a Commodore Amiga or something. Anyway, that's enough of that. And the other one, which I thought was really cool, I hadn't seen this on any system, even though my Pi 4 has a He-Man kind of intro screen and kind of theme to it, doesn't actually have this game. It has the old Atari 2600 or whatever it was on, which bears no resemblance to He-Man whatsoever. This is very cool.
And the masters of the universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said,
And I think, if you're my age, we've all seen this, and as cool as it is, I'm going to skip it and show you the game. Be Man at Arms. Of course, we've got 4 players here if we wanted to. Oops. Everybody on the screen. What's this dude doing? Alright. So yeah, lots of fun games on there. I guess you may actually want to play Turtles if you bought this. So I do believe Turtles was in the last play.
Cowabunga! Cowabunga! Iron! Hang on, Eagle.
So the buttons are labelled. I'll just show you this. The buttons are labelled jump and attack, and they do work correctly, which is cool.
Cowabunga! Cowabunga!
And you'll notice, even though that player is labelled player 2, it is actually player 3 when I press that, so they do map to the 1, 2, 3 and 4 properly on a 4-player game, but you're going to use the center 2 on a 2-player game. sure everyone has seen enough Turtles. One of the best beat 'em up games, if not the best game from Konami, alongside maybe only The Simpsons. Obviously Capcom was the king, but for Konami, this was right up there. So I think a lot of these reviews and channels will focus on the arcade games. I've shown a bunch of arcade games on different systems. I wanted to check out a console, so let's have a look at, obviously we checked out 32X, but let's check out PlayStation as well. And why not Time Crisis? A lot of people are talking about that recently.
Action! There's been a kidnapping. It's Rachel, the daughter of the president of Serbia. Get into the...
And obviously we don't have a gun here, but you can move it around with a joystick. It doesn't work out of the box with a trackball, but I'm sure you can configure that somewhere.
This mission will soon be mine. Ah, the taste of revenge is sweet. Your father will pay the price for destroying the Imperial.
It's funny, I remember thinking these graphics were amazing when this came out.
There, show him.
Action!
Pretty cool, plays really well. So another game that I recall had some issues playing on my Pi 4 build was 2-on-2 Ice, Open Ice Challenge. Very cool game in the arcade, one that I know is requested quite a bit by Arcade1up fans. Let's check this out.
Welcome to tonight's matchup, Mighty Ducks versus Lightning.
I always find hard with these multi-game cabinets is trying to figure out the controls. You got 6 buttons and they're not labelled. You just get hammered while you get used to it. So there's certainly no issues playing this. I'll get into it and remember the controls layout another time, but running really nice on this this Android build. I guess the drivers or something for this game or the emulation software were updated versus the Pi 4, which I got a while ago, so you know, certainly no issues here. So that's all I'm going to do for this review in terms of gameplay. If you would like to see any other games running, just let us know and we'll be happy to show you A, if they're on there, and B, how they run. In terms of what do I think to this, so you know, these are not cheap from 99 Lives, but I've said this with the boss deck for the Street Fighter 2 cabinet as well. They are good quality. These have been hand built, hand quality control by a person who obviously takes pride in his work, and they're fantastic quality. It came out of the box, packed well, no damage, plug it in, it works straight away, no issues. I think it's worth paying a little bit more for that service, and I think if you do get problems, not that I have, but Gregory over there is excellent when it comes to customer service as well. But this is the second product we've had, no issues. You know, in terms of the design and the aesthetics, I'm not sure if this could be designed any better without making it bigger. I'd be tempted to move Michelangelo over to the left just a smidge, maybe by an inch, and Donatello over to the right by an inch. I think it wouldn't interfere with player 1 and 4, but you would be able to get your hand through the middle onto the trackball. So that's the first kind of pet peeve with it. Again, it's not a big deal. I didn't necessarily buy it for the trackball games. I've got Simpsons Bowl in Arcade1up. I've got Golden Tee Arcade1up. They're the two main trackball games that I would want. But I just think from a design perspective, there can be an improvement there. And then also, I have to check. I can't remember if I forgot to order the Plexi or if it just doesn't come with it. My boss deck did come with the Plexi. I think it makes it look nicer quality, so I will be asking 99 Lives if they do that as an extra that I can order. Overall, I think if we compare to the Arcade1up, I think it's fair to say that the quality, the build quality is better, the joysticks are better, the buttons are better. Obviously, the operating system and the games that are on there are outside of the control somewhat to Arcade1up and 99 Lives. I guess they get a build and put it on. But the Arcade1up one did come with a Pi 4, whereas this 99 Lives one did come with an Android-based device. I do think the Pi 4 is slightly better from a performance point of view, but having said that, both do struggle with the more performant games anyway, such as Dead or Alive 2, as you saw playing on Naomi, such as Crazy Taxi. Those games are going to chew up quite a bit more processing power. Both the Pi 4 and the Android device have trouble playing those games, but the Pi 4 does run ever so slightly better. So I think that's all we've got to say on this. I did ask Lily if she wanted to come in and check it out. She's more interested in the Arcade1ups, the individual games. I think when you get to a multi-game cabinet, it's more kind of for the hobbyist, adult. The kids can't be bothered messing around, or certainly Lily can't be bothered messing around. She, like a lot of my buddies, she wants to walk up to the machine, turn it on, play the game that it says on the machine, and that's kind of, you know, why you can see from the channel we do prefer the multi-cab arcade. We will be back very soon, speaking of the arcade, with an update. We've bought a bunch of different cabinets, want to show you the layout, but for now we'll leave you with a huge thumbs up for the 99 Lives Turtles deck. Definitely recommend you get this if you've got the Turtles cab, particularly if you want a multi-game cabinet. I think this is a great option. It looks great, great quality. You're going to enjoy it a lot. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy gaming!